When you feel scared, you don't even breathe, you hold your breath for a second. So anybody on the planet, koi bhi ho, any nationality, age, religion, occupation, doesn't matter. The human body mind complex is programmed in a way that every emotion has a corresponding breath pattern.
Simple things that people can do to be more mindful or to meditate at a workplace.
Meditation is no more a luxury, it is a necessity. कोई हिमालय जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, घर में बैठ के कर सकते हैं, ऑफिस के डेस्क पे कर सकते हैं, ट्रैवलिंग के टाइम कर सकते हैं. मुझे लगता था गुस्से का कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं है, एंड एवरीबॉडी विल कम एंड टेल यू गुस्सा मत करो. अरे पर कैसे, वो कोई नहीं बताता.
When I was in boarding school, then when they used to teach yoga and meditation in the morning, and they would save savasana for the last. And literally, I'll tell you, so they'll say 5 minutes, but once you're up, it's like everybody's sleeping over there.
Snoring, people are
Snoring,
snoring.
literally. What is that one habit you would recommend to gain more mental clarity?
Good sleep. Sleep is an underrated superpower.
Hello everyone, welcome again to Life Unscripted. Today we are celebrating Mental Health Day. So I have today with me Virat, who is an expert on mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and meditation. Virat is here to talk about how we as a person can live a much healthier life. I think in today's day and age, all of us worry about one thing, that is our health. We want to live longer, we want to live healthier, and we want to make sure that we are there with our loved one for a long period of time. Welcome, Virat. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy to have you here on this Mental Health Day and to get to know about the brilliant insights that you have in the topic.
Thank you, Sharad. Glad to be here.
So, Virat, just to begin with, mental health, meditation, and emotional intelligence. These are quite deep topics and they require a lot of patience to understand, learn, and actually teach and explain it to people. So, how did you actually get into this?
So I had no plans to get into it. I was a regular youth, Mumbai engineering, and one of my friends told me that I should I should do the Art of Living course, and I really laughed it off. Engineering में हमको लगता था यार like हमको सब आता है. So, but then under severe emotional blackmail, I ended up on the course and experiencing meditation. So they teach what is known as Sudarshan Kriya. So experiencing that changed my perception. सुनी सुनाई बात अलग होती है, but when you experience it, अनुभव करते हैं. So then I realized that it really worked well. I experienced great peace of mind, super focus, concentration, and it started helping me in my masters. I went to the US for my masters, and that's how I started practicing it. And now it's been 21 odd years that I've been doing it, and the benefits are so motivating that you want to keep going.
So, you just mentioned that you went to the US for your masters. I think it was New York to be specific.
Right.
So, you went to New York. I think you did your masters. Probably, I believe you must have had many brilliant job offers. And then you still chose to do this. So, what changed? Why?
I was working in the US, and also on the side, I had become an Art of Living teacher by then. And I had an option to take up a CEO offer. And at that juncture in life, two roads diverged in the woods, and I had to pick one. And whenever I did seva or whenever I helped other people get peace of mind, the feeling was unparalleled. So I loved my job, but I thought this was my calling. And the transformation was so real that, I just took this path, and I'm very happy that I did it. Not for one day have I regretted quitting my job and doing this.
So, can you take us through like one of your days, like how you started, how you be more mindful, and how you meditate, and how you go about finding that peace you just spoke of?
So I travel a lot. I'm on the road 22 days a month. So my schedules are very variable, but what is consistent is my meditation practice, which is twice a day, typically in the morning before breakfast and in the evening before dinner. And what I practice is the Sudarshan Kriya technique and Sahaj Samadhi meditation. So our primary focus when we say meditate, at least in the Art of Living, our primary focus is the breath. So it's very interesting. The mind and the emotions are connected to the breath. So every emotion has a corresponding breath pattern.
Okay.
So for example, when you're angry, you breathe short and fast automatically.
Yeah, automatic.
Right? When you are very relaxed, you take a deep, long breath in. When you're anxious or sad, you tend to breathe out more. You don't inhale so much. When you feel scared, you don't even breathe. You hold your breath for a second. So anybody on the planet, koi bhi ho, any nationality, age, religion, occupation, doesn't matter. The human body mind complex is programmed in a way that every emotion has a corresponding breath pattern. So if my emotion can change my breath, then my breath can change my emotion. And that is the basis of all the yoga and meditation that we do, that the breath has the power on the mind. And that's now logically, scientifically proved. So if I want to control my mind, going directly to the mind is very tricky. But if I go via the breath, then it is very easy. So mind listens to the breath. So my practice, or the practice of that we do, is based on breath work, then going into pranayams and meditation, and then going subtler on the levels of the consciousness. But we begin with breath work.
So you have been in the corporate world. At one point, you were also an entrepreneur, and now you are deep in the field of meditation. So let's take it to the work front. Every day we see that people are getting stressed out at work, which is the most common thing. Then people are also getting burnt out at work, and there are also the cases like recently there was in the news that the work culture and the toxic culture and all those things. So how do you think, or what kind of practices or simple things that people can do to be more mindful or to meditate at a workplace, both as an entrepreneur or a leader, or as a general person who's just there to do a 9 to 5?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have created a world where I feel meditation is no more a luxury. It is a necessity.
Yeah.
It's come to that. या तो आप meditation कर लो, नहीं तो you'll have to rely on medication.
Yeah.
So unless we really bring it to every aspect of life, schools, colleges, workplaces, houses, we really will see a society which is going to struggle big time, and that's already visible, right? Depression is on the rise. People are getting heart attacks so early on. Stress is so much on the rise. So the good news is that this is very practical. It is very simple. It is doable. You can take it to the workplace. So I teach corporate programs all the time, where some of the biggest corporations out there are waking up for the need of this for their employees. You can hire the best talent, but you're going to burn them out, and unless you do something about it. So we have seen amazing results by simple workshops which teach people breath work, which teach people techniques to quieten the mind, or accept the situations around them, and de-stress on a regular basis, and that gives a lot of health benefits. तो डूएबल है, मतलब प्रैक्टिकल है, कोई हिमालय हिमालय जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, घर में बैठ के कर सकते हैं, ऑफिस के डेस्क पे कर सकते हैं, ट्रैवलिंग के टाइम कर सकते हैं. Of course, if you want to get maximum benefits, you should do it properly. We don't recommend that सिर्फ ट्रैवलिंग के टाइम ही करो, बट ट्रैवलिंग के टाइम भी कर सकते हैं. तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट है ही नहीं कि मुझे कोई स्पेशल इक्विपमेंट चाहिए, या कोई बहुत लंबी चौड़ी ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, या कोई पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन होना चाहिए. Just little bit of learning has to happen. If I am a new practitioner of meditation and I straight away jump onto an app, it may not be a very easy experience. I know many people who tell me कि हमने try किया meditation, app से शुरू किया, but सिर्फ thoughts ही thoughts आते हैं.
Yeah, I tried guided meditation. So I used to switch on YouTube and listen to it. So then I felt that कभी forward कर रहा हूँ, कभी backward कर रहा हूँ. So
that's what. So what I recommend is initially a 2-3 day, few hours each day kind of an investment into a workshop where you learn a technique, and then for practicing going forward, an app or some simplified thing is okay. But एक बार तो किसी को आपको सिखाना पड़ेगा. अगर बॉडी के लेवल पे अगर आप कुछ करना चाहते हो तो आप जिम जाते हो. जिम में जाके if there is no trainer, you will feel absolutely lost. कुछ भी आड़ा टेढ़ा आप उठा के करोगे, you'll hurt yourself.
Yeah, probably.
Same is with the mind. The mind is even more complex. तो अगर आपको जिम के लिए एक ट्रेनर चाहिए, आपको गाड़ी सिखाने के लिए भी एक बंदा चाहिए होता है, तो आपको गाड़ी सिखाता है. तो मन को समझने के लिए, माइंड को थोड़ा मेडिटेशन वगैरह की तरफ लेके जाने के लिए, इनिशियली यू नीड सम ट्रेनिंग, बट नॉट टू लॉन्ग. 2-3 days, few hours each day is enough, and then you can practice on your own anywhere. And meditation is really the simplest thing we can do. If anybody out there is struggling with meditation, they're doing it the wrong way, or they're reading the wrong books, or it's very simple.
So if I have to ask, which you feel that every individual, professional or an entrepreneur, should practice at their free time, like in the office, or as you mentioned, traveling, or any kind of leisure time, even if they have 5 minutes? What would that one technique be?
The technique can vary, but the basis of the technique is deep breathing. So if you can do nothing else, and if you know nothing else about yoga or meditation, and you haven't even started your journey, at least do conscious deep breathing. Anytime you feel anxious or stressed, or too many thoughts are bothering you, or you're about to start a meeting, you're feeling jittery, or some anger is coming up, if you can just do 10 or 20 deep breaths, it's immediately going to show you the result. The problem is, when you need to do it the most, that's when you don't remember to do it.
Exactly.
राइट? तो सुनना बहुत आसान लगता है कि हाँ, चलो डीप ब्रीथिंग कर लो, बट जब गुस्सा आ रहा होता है, तब डीप ब्रीथिंग किसी को याद नहीं आता है. तो अनलेस इट इज़ अ प्रैक्टिस, इट विल नॉट कम टू योर रेस्क्यू व्हेन यू नीड इट द मोस्ट. इसीलिए थोड़ा-थोड़ा समय, कंसिस्टेंसी इज़ द की इन मेडिटेशन और एनी काइंड ऑफ डिसिप्लिन. कंसिस्टेंसी इज़ द की. तो 15-20 मिनट आप रोज़ करो, मोर देन इनफ, बट रोज़ करना पड़ेगा.
So shortly before, I was told this fact that whenever you're having meetings or whenever you're working long sprints in the office, it's a very good habit to work for 40-45 minutes and take a 15-minute break and then do it again. Like for top leaders and CEOs,
Right.
and like in my situation also. What do you think? Would this help us out in terms of deep breathing and doing that, using that 15 minute to calm ourselves down?
Yeah, any kind of break you take, even if it is not 45 minutes and 15 minutes, आप 2 घंटे काम कर लो, उसके बाद आप 5 मिनट ब्रेक ले लो, वो भी चलेगा. But consciously pausing in the middle of a busy day, stopping, pausing, introspecting, just doing some deep breathing, doing something which is absolutely disconnected with what you're doing. So we typically have a left and a right hemisphere of the brain. Most of us use the left hemisphere, which is logic oriented.
Yeah.
We hardly do anything to nurture the emotional side or the creative side. So a lot of offices have these rooms where you just go in and do something crazy for a few minutes, something creative, and then come out of there.
Yeah.
We have meditation rooms. I speak at many different corporates, and a lot of corporates now have a meditation room where you just go in there, sit for 10 minutes, do some kind of meditation, and come. Even that is helpful. But if you've trained to do a meditation, then the kind of output you will get with your meditation practice, even if it is 15 minutes, is 10 times more than just sitting and listening to some flute music with eyes closed. That's going to give you a little bit of benefit, but a meditation practice will give you 10 times more benefit.
Definitely. So, as we are deep diving into the office culture and we are trying to explore different patterns of how you can be calmer, quieter, and you can be more mindful. So, now there is one particular thing that adds to your stress, or rather compounds your stress with every second, which is like a guilt or a failure. So, there are situations in the office that you have felt, you feel that you have failed and your boss is going to yell at you. And I think that fear and that heavy breathing kicks in. And another aspect is the guilt wala part. So let's touch on the fear and the failure first. How do you think we can be more mindful if we have felt that we have failed and there's a yelling coming at us?
वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं, जब आग लग जाती है ना, उसके बाद कुआं नहीं खोद सकते आप. वो पहले से कुआं बना के रखना पड़ेगा, because you know that the minute you step out of the house, life is going to come at you full swing.
Yeah.
राइट, कुछ ना कुछ तो हो
I think
जाएगा.
even in the house.
इवन इन द हाउस, या एक्चुअली घर में इतना स्ट्रेस है. बाहर रोड पर निकलो आप, टुडे बोथ ऑफ अस फेस्ड क्रेजी ट्रैफिक, राइट? रोड रेज इज सो हाई. ऑफिस में पहुंचो तो हर जगह द वर्ल्ड इज आउट देयर टू गेट यू. सो अनलेस यू रियली हैव अ प्रैक्टिस व्हिच विल नॉट अलाउ दैट टिपिंग पॉइंट, एक बार वो टिपिंग पॉइंट आ गया फिर मुश्किल है. सो व्हाट आई हैव नोटिस्ड इज, फॉर मी, आई यूज्ड टू बी अ वेरी वेरी शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड पर्सन. इतना गुस्सा आता था और मुझे लगता था गुस्से का कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं है. एंड एवरीबडी विल कम एंड टेल यू गुस्सा मत करो. अरे पर कैसे, वो कोई नहीं बताता. एंड ओनली आफ्टर आई स्टार्टेड मेडिटेटिंग ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस, आई सॉ ऑटोमेटिकली माय एंगर वेंट डाउन. सो एनी ऑफ दीज नेगेटिव इमोशंस, फियर, एंगर, गिल्ट, greed, jealousy, any of these emotions, they are a part of our life. We can't say कि completely do away with it. That's being idealistic. वो होता नहीं है. But I can regulate my emotions provided I have a practice which does not allow me to go to that tipping point on an everyday basis. And for me, two things help me. One is my meditation practice. Second is a little larger perspective on life. So this whole thing about knowledge or wisdom, जिसको हम ज्ञान कहते हैं. So, for example, accepting what is happening around you. Yeah, or looking at life from a much bigger perspective, asking yourself, what's the purpose of your life? What is it that you want to really achieve? When the time comes for you to leave this body, what are you going to look back and reflect on or take as your achievement, success or failure? तो किस चीज को आप प्राथमिकता दे रहे हो, क्या आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है? वो थोड़ा एक मनन, एक थोड़ा, most people don't even ask themselves these questions. They're so busy living life that life is happening and they're not even aware कि सुबह उठते हैं, it's a very predictable format. So I feel that little bit of search for wisdom or meaning, and it doesn't have to be overly philosophical, very simple stuff. Okay, why am I behaving like this? What are my patterns? Why do I get triggered by the same people or the same situations? Then this comes together, wisdom and meditation. When they come together, it is a fantastic combination. And within a few months, you will find yourself to be a different person. पहले जिस चीज़ पे गुस्सा आता था या जिसको हम फेलियर बोलते थे या गिल्ट आता था, अब वो नहीं आएगा। और जैसे ही मन शांत होता है, मन विल ऑफर यू अ सॉल्यूशन कि अच्छा अभी हो गया, चलो गुस्सा कर दिया आपने, अब क्या करें? सॉल्यूशन बताएगा अपना।
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So when we are talking about guilt, now I think many of the people what we usually encounter would have this guilt that I'm trying to find my purpose, but I'm not getting my purpose.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the correct path to this purpose? Like, how can I start looking for it for one's sake? Like we always have this thing that you need to have passion
Yeah.
to start a business. If you do not have passion, then it's a downhill drive. Sorry, it's a even harder struggle, you can say.
Yeah.
But nobody tells you that this passion is not something that you're born with. You find it, and
Right.
for some people it might take years. Some might find it in 2 days. Just like that, how do you find this purpose?
I think you should pray for it, that it happens. But a lot of people actually get hints from life of what their passion is or what their purpose is, but they're too chicken to follow it. Because my what I have seen is passion will demand sacrifice,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
And a lot of people are in their comfort zone. तो उनको अगर लाइफ हिंट दे भी रही है कि किस दिशा में उनको जाना है या व्हाट्स देयर कॉलिंग, दे आर सो कंफर्टेड विद व्हाट दे हैव क्रिएटेड दैट दे डोंट वांट टू रिस्क इट. And you see any successful entrepreneur or any successful leader, they have an appetite for risk.
Yeah.
They're willing to go into the unknown and uncertain. And I think that appetite, that courage, along with some introspection, will lead you towards your passion. But when you find your passion, follow it.
So now let's go a bit deeper. Like for example, you have found your calling and it's about helping people, and now you wanna go into that stride. You wanna meditate. You wanna be more peaceful, or you wanna help people. You have found something for yourself going. Now in this scenario, when you sit and you start to meditate to get to understand your inner self, like I have seen, and I think I would be one of those as well. That you start, you sit and then you start twitching. The first thing is whether I'm sitting properly, whether my body posture is straight or not, and whether I'm paying my attention or so. All that gimmick that's going on in the head, and that happens every day, and then you just get up and go. So how do you think that we can fight through that pain or that consciousness or that being over conscious about yourself and move forward?
Exactly. So that's what there are so many concepts about meditation. कि रीढ़ की हड्डी बिल्कुल सीधी होनी चाहिए और यहाँ पे कुछ तो होना चाहिए and some light will be visible. ऐसा नहीं है. Thoughts नहीं आने चाहिए. The biggest myth about meditation is मैं ध्यान करने बैठा हूँ तो मुझे thoughts नहीं आने चाहिए. Thoughts are coming means I'm not. ऐसा नहीं है. So that's why a little bit of training, you go to the right teacher and they'll tell you what is important and what is not. Of course, a posture is important, but that's not the most important thing, right? How do you relax the mind? How do you deal with thoughts when you're meditating? What is supposed to be qualified as a good meditation, or how do you know you're meditating or sleeping? तो कई लोग को लगता है मैं तो सो गया था. I get these questions a lot in classes.
That's the best one.
So there are, thankfully, there are practices like Yog Nidra, which are, you feel so relaxed. But essentially, we need to teach people the right way. Otherwise, they get bogged down with these concepts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I meet, they feel the meditation to बूढ़े लोगों के लिए है. I'm young right now, or I'm a busy professional. That's why you need it more. It's like वो compounding interest जो है, systematic investment plan का जो फंडा होता है. It's not कि जब मैं बूढ़ा हो जाऊंगा तो मैं रोज 10 घंटा ध्यान करूंगा. That's not important. Right now, I meditate 20 minutes a day for the next 40 years. That's the game changer. So I think we don't have to worry too much about posture and technique and all of that. But some training is required to begin with. Otherwise, you lose confidence in yourself and you give up on yourself. कि मेरे से नहीं होगा.
So how do you know that it's going right? Like you are starting to get the benefit out of it. Like, okay, you did it as you said that that nidra wala part. It's something like when I was in boarding school, and when they used to teach yoga and meditation in the morning, and they would save savasana for the last. And literally, I'll tell you, so they'll say 5 minutes, but once you're up, it's like everybody's sleeping over there.
Snoring. People are
Snoring,
snoring.
literally. So, like, how do you know it's actually helping you out and you're not in that some funny stage?
So you will feel it. You will feel fresh. You will feel relaxed. You will see a better control on your emotions. You'll have clarity of perception. Your concentration will increase. Your overall well-being, happiness will increase. So you will start feeling it immediately. It's not that you have to go for 3 years before you see benefits. Within a day or two, आपको benefits दिखने शुरू हो जाएंगे. Then of course it's for you to practice. But meditation is simple, and our rishis have been doing it for thousands of years. If you just follow what they have prescribed in the scriptures, meditation is not difficult.
So we always feel that it is not just about the mind, it is mind, body, and soul. So meditation is basically healing your soul, your mind, and you're being more mindful about things. And then comes your body, which we have heard time and again that starts from your gut. So do you also feel that the gut is the first place to begin with, or is it the mind? Is it the meditation? Is it the mindfulness?
It's easier to begin with mind, and it's even easier to begin with breath, because breath is something you can regulate. You can change it. Mind, I cannot directly change. That's why you will meet a lot of people who they want to start a new habit, but they can't. They want to stop overthinking, but they can't. Intellectually, I understand मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. But मन दिमाग की सुनता नहीं है. Like we've all had this experience. I'm doing something. I know this is wrong for me, and I will do it anyways. है ना? अभी आप 3 गुलाब जामुन खा चुके हो. अभी आप चौथा खाने जा रहे हो. The intellect is screaming and telling you don't do it. But you will do it anyway, and then you will figure a logic to make it all right for you.
Yeah.
So breath is the easiest to get a control on the mind. And of course, body is involved. If you have an unhealthy body, you cannot meditate. If you're sick, you can't do yoga, you can't meditate. And if you're carrying too many strong impressions, there is some trauma that has not been released, then you can't meditate. Interestingly, health की हम बात कर रहे थे, तो health का जो संस्कृत शब्द है, वो है स्वास्थ्य.
Yeah.
Right?
And start with swast.
Swast means swa mein sthapit, meaning somebody who's established in the self.
Okay.
Is healthy. So Western concept of health is very limited to the body. Even in yoga, they focus only on asanas more.
Yeah.
Eastern concept of health was always mind, body, soul. Unless you take care of your mind, your emotions, and your soul, you can't be qualified as healthy. So you'll see a lot of people who are fit and absolutely unhealthy. They're physically fit, but they're mentally very sick,
very unstable. Yeah.
So we don't want that. We want a holistic health.
So can you also touch base on the topic of micro meditations, things you can do quickly, like just get it done, like yeah, okay, and feel nice about it.
You can do things quickly and you will feel nice, but then input and output is proportional. अगर मुझे MBA करना है तो मुझे 2 साल लगाने पड़ेंगे. मुझे PhD करनी है तो 4 साल लगाने पड़ेंगे. अगर मैं 6 महीने में PhD करना चाहता हूँ तो वो होगा नहीं. कुछ कर सकता हूँ, उसका कुछ बेनिफिट होगा. So for example, deep breathing, taking a break, some very simple asanas which you can do at your desk, some breathing before you sleep, which will quickly put you in sleep.
Yeah.
All that is there and it has its benefit, but it is limited. We can't expect to completely feel at peace and all of that just by a 2-minute or a 5-minute meditation. So we are in this world where everybody wants a shortcut to peace of mind. But that's then short-lived. So if peace of mind and if mental health is important, we will need to invest time. And there are not too many shortcuts. So of course, some amount of breathing can be done in 5 minutes, but something is better than nothing. That's another thing I believe in. Kuch to karo.
Kuch to karo. Yeah, definitely.
So kuch to karo.
And when we talk about mental health, there is one thing that comes to my mind right now is like, if you are at a leadership position, you are at the top, you tend to be lonely.
Yeah.
If you are not at a leadership position, you are usually financially stressed.
Mm.
or you have some sort of anxiety, like the stock market, for example, it's zooming up right now. You'll have the anxiety, did I invest the right amount?
Right.
If it goes down, you'll have the anxiety, oh, what is happening with my money? So, in all three scenarios, there is some sort of negative emotion that is attached to you.
Mm.
So, how do you believe that people at every level, call it top tier, middle tier, financial anxiety, financial stress, or any kind of stress, which happens due to external factors or which happens due to the work that you do,
Mm.
how can you mitigate that and be more mentally healthy?
See, stress को थोड़ा समझना पड़ेगा. Stress, many ways to look at it. One is the mind not being in the present moment. You're too much caught up in the past or the future. That stresses you out. Or there is a gap between your imagination and reality.
Yeah.
So everybody, okay, I want this, I want 90% marks, but I got 80% marks. अभी वो 10% का stress है.
Stress.
मुझे 5 लाख रुपए चाहिए था, मुझे 3 ही मिला. So knowing that there are other factors at play, again looking at wisdom, looking at knowledge, having a practice of meditation will. A stressful leader is first a stressful individual, na? A stressful employee is first a stressful individual.
Yeah.
If I can't deal with stress on an individual level, it will filter into my work, in my professional life, in my personal life, with my kids, with my employees, with everything that I touch. So we can't look at leadership in isolation. It is a very mixed thing. And there are trainings. So nowadays, most leaders undergo trainings on these. Otherwise, they realize, if you look at statistics, meditation has been able to cure 70% depression cases. And these are proven statistics. So we have enough evidence to show that meditation, mindfulness, training on the mind, emotional intelligence, these things actually work. But people need to invest time and money, especially as leaders. You are responsible for your workforce. That's why you're a leader, that you take care of your mind, and you are able to see what is good for your workforce. Otherwise, time will blame you, time will hold you accountable. कि जब आपको leadership position दिया गया था, आपने क्या किया उसके साथ? Like we challenge our political leaders, we need to challenge business leaders also. सिर्फ CSR का एक check लिखने से, that's not the end of your responsibility. So as leaders, I am responsible for my emotions, and I should create a conducive workforce and a environment where positive emotions are encouraged. नहीं तो फिर we are headed, full speed downwards into the disaster.
Definitely. I mean, it's important for both parties.
Yeah.
Like the corporate chairs, the people who work under them, and the people who serve them, like the people they serve, the customers. Everybody together needs to create a better environment. So that said, I would like to take a few quick fire questions. So we can have like one word or like a one statement which can actually help all our listeners who are here with us today. So to begin with, what is that one habit you would recommend to gain more mental clarity?
Good sleep. Working on making sure that you have enough sleep and good quality sleep. Sleep is an underrated superpower.
What is that one thing that you would say which can give you the best sleep of your life? One practice, probably.
Few minutes of deep breathing before you sleep and watching your food.
Okay. Now, one book or a resource that has helped you greatly on your journey to mindfulness.
It's called Intimate Note to a Sincere Seeker. It's by Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji.
Okay. Now, if you have to pick up three things that you need to incorporate in your daily life to begin your journey towards a better mental health today, what would those three things be?
So, food needs to be checked, sleep needs to be checked, and a meditation practice. 20 minutes a day is more than enough.
How about exercising?
Yeah, exercising is great. So, food and exercise go together.
Okay.
So, food and exercise for sure, and meditation for sure, and sleep.
Thank you so much, Virat, for all those things. If you would like to share any key takeaways, like some things which people should always learn or imagine or carry with them based on your statements, especially the younger generations who are coming in, the younger entrepreneurs who are joining business, even the teenagers, because I believe change starts early on.
Absolutely.
So what would those things be?
No, teenagers, I was just reading statistics on suicides. India is now accounting for 150,000 suicides every year. By the time we have finished this podcast, at least 15 to 20 people have killed themselves. So it's one suicide every 4 minutes in India. And that's shocking. And if we don't do something about the youth and colleges and teens, we are in trouble. But my recommendation to people would be, start today. Start small. but start today. Pick up any meditation practice, join some meditation class, learn meditation. um, Mindfulness is a very interesting word. Mindfulness is basically a new term coined by the West to replace with meditation,
Meditation. Yeah, yeah,
right?
definitely.
So, because people want to be unique, they want to be cool, and it comes from the West. We find it very cool, but mindfulness is nothing but ancient meditation. In fact, why should you be mindful all the time? It is so much effort to be mindful, right? Because mindful means I have to be aware and be.
Yeah.
And so mindfulness is great, but it has to be coupled with deep relaxation. Where I'm not mindful, I want to empty my mind. My mind is already too full. That's the problem. I want to empty my mind, and for that, I can't be more mindful.
I think that's the best statement for today. I am already mindful. I need to empty my mind.
Yeah,
first.
in fact, Gurudev would say often say heart full and mind empty. That's the
Yeah.
equation, not mind full and heart empty. So keep your mind empty, and that is meditation, which empties your mind out, and then you have a fresh new pool of energy, and then you act in the world.
Yeah.
And when you're acting, be mindful. In action, be mindful. In meditation, be mind empty. And that combination, if that can come together, and if you can invest 20 minutes a day for your mental health, just go to some training and learn how to meditate and start that today. Don't postpone it for New Year's, for Diwali, for
That
this, for that.
resolution.
हाँ, आज शुरू करो. 10-15 मिनट करो, but आज शुरू करो.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Virat. To add on, where can our listeners find you and more about your coaching programs?
So I teach the Art of Living programs. So anywhere on the Art of Living website, or you can find me on my social media handles.
Great. Thank you so much, Virat. So I think it was a fabulous conversation wherein we started with how we can be more mindful, how the Western term of mindfulness is more about the mind and less about the heart, wherein we should have a heart full and a mind which is empty. That is a very strong statement which we were presented with today. On top of it, it is never too late to start. If you want to be healthier in your mind, not just your body, you start today. You start by those small things. You start meditating or just start taking some deep breaths. Most importantly, sleep well. Make sure you get that good night's sleep. You get that beauty sleep right. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Virat, for
Thank you,
starting this
Sarah.
conversation. I think I learned a bit or two. And I think the one practice which I am going to start is start doing deep breaths as a form of meditation just to begin with.
Super, super. All
Thank you
the
so
best.
much,
And I'm
Virat.
so happy that you're bringing these topics up for people, and great service. Thanks.
I believe it's the need of the hour, and I myself struggle with this. I would not say that I'm a perfect being, but I have made it a point to improve in every aspect of my life on this journey of my personal growth, and that's how we do this podcast so that we can.
No, I'm on
learn.
my journey to. All of us are work in progress, but this is the right direction.
Yeah, so we always have to find that day and start. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned for more. We are coming up with many more such great podcasts which will help you grow as a person. Thank you.